The Cleaning and Disinfecting Task Group was formed by the chair of NFPA 1851 in late 2013. The task group, made up of firefighters and industry experts on cleaning, identified two goals. 1. Measure soiling and contamination levels on protective clothing, and 2. Evaluate the effectiveness of current laundry practices. While we would all like the ability to analyze every process, procedure, and detergent on the market in a way that lets us test every set of gear, regardless of its exposure and care and maintenance history, we knew we would have to narrow our focus or risk learning nothing and making no progress. The task group members agreed that evaluating and reporting on the effectiveness of current cleaning technologies was beyond the scope of NFPA and this task group. That responsibility rests with the product manufacturers. Through collaboration with the NFPA Fire Protection Research Foundation and other technical partners and lots of hard work, the group was awarded a DHS AFG research grant, and How Clean is Clean was born. The results of this project will allow us to answer the critical question: how well are we cleaning firefighters' protective clothing? The progression of NFPA 1851 is strikingly parallel to the development of NFPA 1971. Until the mid-1970s, there were no national standards for firefighter protective clothing. Fire departments selected clothing ranging from long coats made of heat-resistant materials to insulated rainwear based on preference. Levels of protection were highly variable, based both on design and materials. The establishment of NFPA 1971 provided a solid structure and good baseline design requirements, based on educated guesses and common-sense approach, not based on data or scientific study. Then came the third revision of NFPA 1971, when performance requirements like TPP were added to those common-sense design requirements. TPP was introduced as the first scientific method for measuring thermal protection. As you can imagine, this caused a major shift in how departments selected their protective clothing, how manufacturers designed PPE, and how materials producers pursued textile innovations. From this point forward, revisions to the standard would be assessed based on available science and data. This task group and the technical committee are only on the tip of the iceberg. Despite being on the fourth revision cycle of the standard, there is a lot we don't know, and there is a lot we still won't know after this study is complete. We have learned many things over the last 3 years that have shaped the path of this project. Yet there will still be much to learn about the care and maintenance of protective clothing. We will have to continue to chip away at that iceberg to fully meet the demands of the fire service, to reduce contamination and long-term exposures, and provide the comprehensive conclusions that the fire service deserves. Similar to the process NFPA 1971 followed, the technical committee initially assembled leading experts in the field to identify and implement consensus opinions to draft the first edition. We have approached each revision to NFPA 1851 from an educated base, using common sense as our foundation. This obviously comes with some variability and uncertainty. We recognize that the current cleaning process recommended by NFPA 1851 has not been validated, and we cannot define with absolute certainty the best practice for cleaning. In fact, there is no tool that can provide such certainty. The How Clean is Clean project is going a long way to bring scientific methodology and data to understanding whether or not a cleaning process is effective through the development of a cleaning validation kit. Each cleaning validation kit will contain 1. Standardized contaminated sample materials, contaminated to the same levels. 2. Standardized surrogate clothing with the same pockets to hold the contaminated samples. And 3. Uniform ballast materials needed to make a complete laundry load, so that the only variable is the cleaning process and detergent. Through this project, we have identified contaminants to be used in the cleaning validation kit. We have developed repeatable contamination methods, and we have established repeatable and dependable methods for analyzing contaminated samples after cleaning. As you can see, rather than being a laundry study, this is a chemistry study. The focus has to be on chemistry, otherwise we will have no way to assess the cleaning process. Sure, we won't be evaluating gear that's in service, but every verified independent service provider, or ISP, will be evaluated in a way that lets us truly understand whether or not their process is effective. Someday, after much more study, we may move toward the rest of the iceberg and be able to evaluate more cleaning scenarios. But right now, this is pretty incredible, and we have to start somewhere. This is a huge iceberg, and this project is clearing the path for future study and progress. NFPA 1851 is at the same crossroads 1971 was when TPP was introduced to the standard. The Fire Service is asking the NFPA 1851 Technical Committee to provide the scientific methodology driven by data for determining what is the best practice for care and maintenance of their protective clothing. And we are doing just that. While the future hasn't been fully mapped out, we do know more study is needed. We know we have gaps in our knowledge of parameters like ideal temperature and wash settings, and gaps in our understanding of the impact cleaning has on the protective performance of the materials. As part of the current study, we are looking to the future and documenting the details of those studies and drafting additional research proposals in an effort to secure funding to complete those projects. We will provide updates using our YouTube channel, associated websites, and all other accessible methods. Thank you for your interest. If you would like email updates on this project specifically, please visit www.nfpa.org/ppecleaning.